150 knot here in Adelaide. What a magnificent week for the Australian number 3.
Well, he was stringing half centuries together in England and doing it in impressive fashion on tracks that helped the bowlers. So that was very impressive. Now he's gone to the next step in Australia with big scores after getting a start. It's been a very impressive, about 9 months for Marnus.
Yasir Shah in again. Warner using his feet and lifting the leggy out over wide. Mid-on. Has it gone the journey? No, it's bounced just inside the rope. So, and yet another boundary. 1 for 348. So in 23 minutes of play on day 2, Australia's already added 46 runs. Just quickly, the details on Labuschagne's 150. 150 not out from 226 balls with 20 boundaries. Those stats were thanks to Bingle. And Warner now 188. I think this may be his second highest test score. We'll have to check that during the next break. Yasir Shah in again round the wicket. Warner is forward and defending out to cover.
Well, it was Warner who hammered Imran Tahir at this ground and virtually put an end to Imran Tahir's test career. Absolutely belted the leg spinner out of the attack. He's doing a good job on Yasir as well.
Yasir tries again, and Warner just opening the face and guiding it out through the covers for another 1, which they turn into 2. Great aggressive running again from this Australian pair.
That was in a session too, wasn't it? Imran, didn't he get 100 in a session?
If he didn't, he went very close. Very close, yeah. I reckon all of the stuff that I'd read and heard in the lead-up, I reckon they had Warner for the high jump, the selectors, and I reckon Warner knew it, and he came out and absolutely thrashed South Africa as if to say, hey, you want to drop me? Have a look at this.
So the 350 comes up from 479 deliveries. Warner moves to 190 with that brace. Now he's back and pulling fiercely, and there's another boundary. He's unstoppable, David Warner. And the runs continue to flow. 52 from the first 25 minutes of play on day 2. The new ball is now due. Australia's cashed in the first 7 overs of this second afternoon. And at the end of the over, BizCover scoreboard, it's 1 for 354.
Kia Open season is on now with the value-packed Serato Sport Hatch. Featuring AEB safety, reverse camera, 17-inch alloys and smartphone connectivity from a match-winning 22,490 drive away. Plus, Australia's best 7-year warranty. With value like this, no wonder Serato is Kia's most popular car. Kia, major partner of the Australian Open. Offer ends November 30. Warranty terms at kia.com.au.
So 1 for 354 after 7 overs on day 2. Australia has added a further 52 runs to their overnight score, screaming along at 7.5 per over, and the second new ball is being taken with Mohammad Abbas into the attack at the River Torrens or City end of the Adelaide Oval. David Warner now 194 not out, his second highest test score after that 253 or 254 against New Zealand in Perth 4 years ago when Ross Taylor got that 250 as well. As Mohammad Abbas, his first delivery on day 2, and he's slapped out to point by Labuschagne, who's replaying the shot as Masood does the fielding. And also David Warner within just a couple of runs of overtaking Ian Chappell's highest score here against Pakistan in Adelaide of 196 back in the summer of 72-3.
That's it.
Mohammad Abbas in, past umpire Goff, and Labuschagne is defending hard into the pitch away on the offside, and there's no run.
Yeah, that's the highest score against Pakistan at the Oval. I tell you what, there's another record that might go today. I don't think a Test 300 has been made at this ground. Bradman ran out the number 11, the number 11 got run out with Bradman on 299. So he was 299 not out. I don't think a 300 has been made in a test at the Adelaide Oval.
Mohammad Abbas in again, and Labuschagne on the back foot places this to the right of the fieldsman at point. Not a lot of power in the shot, but again, another couple of runs, one for 356.
I know that Merv Danga-Waite, who played for Australia, toured in 38 to England. He got 325 here, I think, in either a grand final or a semi-final for Port Adelaide. So there have been 300s made here, but not in Test cricket.
It's not beyond the realms that both players could make a triple today.
I might have under-clubbed with that one for 700.
It's one for 356. Mohammad Abbas to Labuschagne, who's forward and effortlessly pushing out into the covers. Labuschagne's 152, Warner's 194. A spare a thought for Joe Burns, who's been back in the shed since the fourth over of the match. He was out to a good, and it must be set out for four.
Yeah, it was a decent ball, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And then we had the play miss quickly. Next ball with Labuschagne, and apart from that,
big appeal.
There wasn't too much.
Yeah, first ball Labuschagne faced when he hit the pitch as Mohammad Abbas bowls as he was uncoiling. Labuschagne was withdrawing. The ball didn't hit the stumps, and umpire Goff signalled a dead ball immediately anyway. Something just distracting Labuschagne down near the sight screen. Warner wanders halfway down the pitch to find out what the matter was.
As if there's not enough bad news for Pakistan, the Australian players will be refreshed because they're starting on big scores after having had a good night's sleep. So that's a good recipe for big scores.
Abbas in again. Labuschagne works it off his hip out forward of square, and there's a single to be had as Imam-ul-Haq fields coming in off the rope.
And unlike the Gabba, they batted 90 overs. It was quite hot, wasn't it? They only batted 73 last night. Yeah. So as a batsman, you actually are quite refreshed. It wasn't hot yesterday. It was quite chilly, as you said. So if you can get through this new ball, then wow, I think you're right. We could have 2 triple hundreds today.
I mean, you figure something will go wrong and they'll get out, but it's almost got to be the batsman's got to make a huge mistake, because that's what Pakistan are waiting for. They're not trying to dismiss them.
Last ball of the first over with the second new ball. Mohammad Abbas round the wicket to David Warner. Works it off his pads, but straight to the man at square leg. And there is no run. Commentary change coming up as we hit the stroke of 2 o'clock on a Saturday afternoon here in Adelaide. From the first half hour, Australia has added 55 runs. And on the BizCover scoreboard, they're 1 for 357.
Can you grieve the loss of a tooth? I'm Dr. Theo Spirakis from Bexley Dental, and in my experience, the answer is yes. Losing teeth as an adult can be hugely distressing, but there is a solution. Using the all-on-4 procedure, I can replace the missing teeth within 24 hours. You'll feel better, smile more, and eat with confidence again. It's your life, your smile. I've helped hundreds of people, and I'm confident I can help you. Book your free consultation at bexleydental.com.au.
Welcome back to the Adelaide Oval. Change in commentary. Darren Berry taking over in the host chair from Bruce Eva, and Mark Taylor relieving Darren Lehman, sitting alongside Ian Chappell. And the sun-bathed Adelaide Oval, the leg spinner Yasir Shah continues, and the runs continue to flow. My first question to you, Mark, as the two of us join. The Pakistan have just taken the second new ball, and as a former Australian captain, one of the great captains of Australia, you'd expect a couple of slips maybe to try and get a breakthrough, and we're not seeing it.
Well, that's the first thing that confused me, as the 350-run stand comes up between these two. The other thing is that you're bowling Yasir Shah. So have they actually, I was just out the back momentarily, have they actually taken the second new ball?
I think we assumed that, but
I'm not sure they have.
No, it doesn't.
Because surely Shaheen and Afridi should be bowling with if they've taken.
They couldn't have, surely, because it's. Get my binoculars on as Shah continues and the ball's worked. I'm saying no, they haven't, by the look of that ball.
No, well, hang on. I think the indication on the scoreboard is where it says ball. I think that's how old the ball is, and it's saying 81 overs. So I don't think they have taken the new ball. So
we will take back, Tubby, you and I, our thoughts off air, and we won't bring them on air because they haven't taken the second new ball, which explains what we're witnessing a little perhaps, as Shah's in again. It's short. He's cut through the offside. A beautiful shot. Labuschagne continues on his merry way. He moves to 158, and Australia continue to dominate this test.
So the next thing we've got to say is, why haven't they taken the second new ball? They've gone for 61 runs in about 31 minutes since the start of play with this ball. So this is definitely not working. So they might as well take the second new ball and try and get a wicket. That's the only way they're going to stem these flow of runs, which has just got way out of hand.
They're coming at ease this morning, sensing Ian Chappell's frustration as well with his captaincy hat on again. Another cut shot, maybe the same result. It races to the boundary, a misfield. It is a nightmare on Memorial Drive. That's what it is for Pakistan. Another cut boundary. Whatever they do goes wrong. Ian, it's hard to fathom what we're watching tactically.
The other thing is, the best Pakistan bowler is the only one who hasn't bowled so far today. Shaheen Afridi has been far and away their best bowler, and he hasn't bowled. It's weird.
Saving him for the second new ball, but we're just not sure when they're going to take it. So, beautiful day in Adelaide after an overcast, rainy day yesterday. Let's hope we get a full day. We think we're going to, and night. And this test could really move today. Shah's in again. Went back to cut, played and missed that time. They've actually positioned another fieldsman. So they got two backward of point and a slip. And a man patrolling the offside boundary. Labuschagne is 162.
You know what's going to happen. There's going to be a nick and it's going to get dropped.
Well, not from that ball because he crunched it into the covers, but it was fielded nicely to complete the over on the McDonald's scoreboard. It's all one-way traffic here. 1 for 367.
Pineapple or pine berry. With 37 flavours at Macca's, it's the largest frozen range in Australia. Mix any Fanta flavour or enjoy a classic frozen Coke for just $1. A little goes a long way at Macca's. Available until midnight at participating restaurants for a limited time only. Excludes McDelivery and mobile ordering.
For unrivaled power and towing, the Ram 1500 pickup truck eats utes for breakfast. Check out the Ram 1500, the V8 bad boy, broadcast partner of Macquarie Sports Radio.
Magnificent conditions, Adelaide Oval this afternoon. Day 2 of the second test, the Domain Test Series. And on cue, I think maybe the Pakistan boys were listening to Ian Chappell and Mark Taylor. The new ball has now been taken. A couple of overs later than it was available. Shaheen Afridi is warming up, so he'll come from the scoreboard end, but it's going to be Mohammad Abbas with the new ball from the River Torrens end. He's bowling to Warner. He's with us now, outside off stump, allowed to pass.
The reason why I say there's a chance that a catch will be dropped is because I think they're so far on the back foot, Pakistan. When things are going like this in the field, you tend to... and another thing is slow over rates bring this about. You get back on your heels in the field, and that's when a catch goes down. Certainly you're not so quick at saving singles.
Two slips in a gully, Abbas in again, back of a length, nice bounce with the new ball through to the keeper. There's two slips in a gully, a point, a cover, mid-off, mid-on, a man at mid-wicket, and then a deep backward square or deep fine leg. So just a regulation field, really, and the score is 1 for 367.
Yeah, and this is where Mohammad Abbas and probably Shaheen Afridi, who has been the pick of the bowlers, really need to stand up here. Some senior player, and Shaheen Afridi's only 19, has to stand up and make a difference here. Get a wicket.
Abbas again, around the wicket, allowed to pass.
And already Mohammad Abbas, it's wide of off stump, it's a bit short. It's not attacking David Warner. David Warner's on 195. You might as well go after him. He's scoring runs freely anyway. You might as well try and just go hard and get him out. If you go for 6 or 8 and over, you're going for that anyway, bowling defensively. You need to change your mindset here as a bowler, and in the field it's not easy when you've been absolutely hammered around, but someone needs to stand up and try and attack attack the Australian batsman.
100% agree. Abbas again defended into the leg side, and just looking at the field, and as I said, it's regulation. You know, they need to try something, perhaps even on the Adelaide Oval. Cover and mid-wicket can come in 10 metres and be catches on either side with the new ball that might bounce a little bit more. Two batsmen that are going to look to hit the new ball. So have two blokes catching in, one at mid-wicket, one at cover, or put an extra... Try something to get a wicket. It's like, as Ian has said, they're waiting for one of these Australian batsmen to make a mistake. They're not creating anything. Abbas again, outside off stump, allowed to pass.
Well, I think I said yesterday that with captaincy, when you look out there and there's a rhyme or reason to what's going on, then you know it's decent captaincy. Well, there's absolutely been no rhyme or reason to what's happened today, and that's just a continuation of what happened yesterday and what happened in Brisbane. No rhyme or reason to anything I've seen when Pakistan are in the field.
So Mohammad Abbas is continuing from the river end. He's coming around the wicket to Warner, who pushes into the offside, beats the man at cover. They'll get at least two. The new ball races across the outfield towards the cover boundary. It's pulled up inside, and they'll settle for two. Warner edging ever so close to that 200, and dare I say it, Ian, I know records are made to be broken, but your 196 back in the summer of 72, 73 against Pakistan has now gone. Warner's 197.
Need to manage small business cash flow? You need Finstro. Finstro's flexible business line of credit from $10,000 to $300,000 gives your business access to the funds you need when you need them most. With same-day approval, you can apply now and make no repayments until January 2020. For full details and T&Cs, visit finstro.com.au. That's finstro.com.au.
Sure.
The McDonald's scoreboard reads like this. Australia 1 wicket down for 369. I know we had to service our sponsors, and I was speaking...
Not out. The number 11 got run out.
190,
get his 300.
196 to Ian Chappell's now been surpassed with Warner's 197. Perhaps, Chappelli, they should turn to Majid Khan. He could be the man to get a breakthrough.
Yeah, he could probably still turn his arm over Majid. He's always kept himself pretty fit. I saw him a couple of years ago. He looked in good shape.
Shaheen Afridi, the best of the bowlers, takes the new ball, starts with a nicely pitched delivery just outside off, and Labuschagne allows it to pass to the keeper. Again, two slips in a gully, the regulation field. Point cover mid-off. Mid-on, it's like the field you just set when you're at home and you're looking at the cricket bat you got when you were a kid, and all the fielding positions are on the back, and that's where they go. There's no imagination, there's no creativity, and hence the score probably reflects that.
The only thing that surprises me is that record lasted this long.
Well, we've got a feeling that a few other records might go unless they can strike with this new ball.
Afridi again knocked him over on cue. Mark Taylor says, can they strike? Afridi, magnificent. Don't over-celebrate, son. It's only the second one. But he cleaned up Labuschagne with a beautiful ball. The leg stump went cartwheeling out of the ground. Finally, men, something to get excited about.
Yep, well, that's well deserved because he's put in extremely well in both Test matches. One thing I don't like, there seems to be a reluctance to leave the crease when you get out, or leave it. They're leaving it very slowly. I mean, Labuschagne's gone over and had a hug with David Warner. I mean, I just always felt that when I got out, it was get the hell out of there. But magnificent innings from Marnus Labuschagne, and he really has. He's improved a lot. He played well in England, but I think he's improved a lot. I think he's improved his technique, and obviously his confidence has gone through the roof.
Absolutely. There's no doubt he believes he's a Test cricketer. Now, no doubt about it. 185 and now 162. Partnership of 361 between Warner and Labuschagne. And actually spare a small thought for Steve Smith, who comes out to bat, made 4 in the last Test match, comes out, and it was destined, wasn't it? He was going to come out when the new ball had been taken, and this will be a nice little test for Steve Smith, who's been in terrific form form, obviously right up to last Test match. Came out in a similar situation, got bowled by Yasir Shah. So this will be good to watch and good to listen to at home.
A little battle within the battle. Go, chaps.
Yeah, and I think I've seen some left-handers trouble Smith a bit, but only if they can swing the ball back into him from outside off stump. Trent Bolt troubled him a little bit, and I'm just trying to think. There's another left-hander, I reckon, who's given him a bit of trouble. I was actually surprised that England didn't pick Curran a little more often, because I do think that if the left-armer can swing it back into Smith, that does bother him.
Well, there was no doubt that ball that knocked over Marnus Labuschagne swung back. It was foolish. It swung back a little bit. Labuschagne looking to drive, just found the gap between bat and pad left. Excellent delivery.
It was beautifully bowled. They say never correct yourself on air, but Ian Chappell's eyes are far better than mine, which is a bit of a concern. Here's Afridi again, full to Smith. He's away straight away, Steve Smith. He knocks it into the leg side, customary Steve Smith, and he gets a single. The correction I was going to make was it was the off stump that cartwheeled out of the ground, not the leg stump. I thought he went through the gate, but it actually knocked his off stump down, which Ian kindly corrected me on.
If that's the case, then, Chuck, I would suggest you don't do any more keeping.
Give it up, you reckon?
If your eyes are worse than mine, mate. Yeah.
They're normally good on long distance, and I'm a bit of a struggler up short. That's why I had the goggles on yesterday doing some of those reads, but it didn't matter. The result was clean bowled, and Afridi, who has been impressive with the ball, not so much in the field, but he's been impressive with the ball. The tall left armer. Speaking to Wasim Akram last night, and he felt the same, that this boy has definitely got the goods. He's in again now. Warner works him to leg side. Another missed field. Imam-ul-Haq, the opening batsman it was on this occasion, and Warner takes another 2, and he moves to 199. There's a bit of a buzz around this crowd.
Sorry, Shaheen Afridi. You're right, deserved that wicket, no doubt about it. And his fielding was, well, at times yesterday it was comical, but you cannot fault his effort in the field, even though he didn't have a great day yesterday and the ball followed him. You could see every time in the field he's absolutely giving it all. He's a big, tall lad, and he'll be trying really hard here to David Warner, who's on 199.
So are we about to witness a double 100 to David Warner? This one's knocked into the offside, no run taken.
I've always thought of Adelaide as a good cricket town. What they really love is aggressive cricket here. They're buzzing with Warner playing like this. That's the crowd are really on this side. I think they got it for so many years here, particularly Les Favell, the style of cricket that he played, both as a batsman and as a captain. The crowd really appreciate it, and it's a good cricket town, Adelaide.
So Warner on strike again on 199. On his hip, he works it into the leg side, and there's 200 for Davey Warner. He takes off the helmet, the customary jump, and the punch of the right glove with the helmet in hand. 200 runs to David Warner. He had a lean Ashes series. He's come back here in Australian conditions, and he pumped out 150 at the Gabba, and he's followed it up with a double 100, Mark Taylor. That is sensational.
Absolutely, and he's come out with an absolutely different mindset today than at the Gabba last week. It was 151 not out, I think, overnight in that match. Took an hour to make 3 runs, then was dismissed, but he's come out very aggressive today and really raced to that 200, and you suspect watching him he's got even greater scores in mind. We were talking about the biggest score ever here at this ground, Bradman's 299 not out. I think that's in danger. If they don't get him with this new ball, he'll have that knocked over in a couple of hours.
No doubt about that. We know this first session today, if you've just joined us on the Macquarie Sports Radio Network, due to the rain yesterday, we started a half an hour early, 1:30 kick-off local time, and the first session is 2.5 hours. So, as Mark Taylor's has suggested, if this new ball doesn't bring some more success for Pakistan, they're in a world of pain, and David Warner, who's scoring at will at the moment, will soldier toward Bradman's record. The bus is bowling to him now around the wicket from the river end. Nips back a little bit, but again, over the top of the stumps, allowed to pass, no run.
Yeah, so important time for Pakistan. They've got the wicket of Labuschagne with an excellent delivery from Shaheen Afridi, but they really need to strike again here. Warner, as I said, 200 not out, only 260 balls faced, 23 boundaries, and looking aggressive. They need to keep at David Warner here, or Australia, who are already 373 for 2. They'll be up near 500 very quickly.
Abbas again with the shiny pink ball, goes wide of off stump through to the wicket keeper. Warner allows it to pass. He's played beautifully because he's been good on the front foot. He's been good when they've urged short. He's cut beautifully, and he's just showed an enormous amount of patience. Great lessons for everyone who loves this game of cricket. He's just waited for the right ball, and 200 runs later, he's still going.
He made his intentions pretty obvious at the Gabba. You know, when he got to his 100, a muted celebration, got his head down straight away afterwards.
Abbas again. This one, he shaped to cut, was a little full, and just went into the short cover, no run.
And you know, you just got the feeling that it was one of those cases of, okay, I've got 100, mark the crease, this is only half my job done. And I think he's continued on in that frame of mind here. He's been a bit more expansive with his shot play in Adelaide, but I think that also is because of the extra confidence with the 150 behind him from the Gabba.
He's on strike again, David Warner. Abbas is full. That's a beautiful shot. Timing magnificent. He eased it through the offside and smacked it to the deep point boundary for another 4 runs to the Australian team.
Oh, that's a shot of a batsman who's 200 not out. That's what that is. That wasn't a bad delivery. It was foolish. It was just wide of off stump and drew the drive from David Warner, but he's in such good touch. He hit it on the top of the bounce. There wasn't a lot of foot movement there. And as you say, just eased it through cover point for 4. And I was just thinking about David Warner as a former opening batsman. You used to like to try and get 100 if you could before the second new ball was taken. Well, David's almost got 200 before the second new ball was taken.
Abbas is with us again. That's a fuller ball, much better length. Sort of muted appeal. Nothing forthcoming from it. Just having a look at the wagon wheel, which is a fair reflection, unfortunately, for Pakistan of their bowling. Only 14 runs scored in the forward quadrant of the ground by David Warner. I couldn't add up the numbers, but so much square of the wicket, both sweeping to the spin, cutting, and even square driving, but not a lot down the ground, which we spoke about yesterday.
Which suggests, just like that ball there, that was a bit of an inside edge. They haven't bowled straight enough to David Warner.
Straight enough or full enough? That's better. 2 balls in a row. Abbas has challenged the knee roll, and no runs scored off either of them on the McDonald's scoreboard. 2 for 377.
The HSBC Sydney Sevens is back. The world's best Rugby Sevens players are coming for 1 weekend only as rugby's biggest party returns.
It's 2 full days of exhilarating Rugby Sevens, live music performances and ridiculous fancy dress.
So round up the squad and get ready for one epic weekend.
The HSBC Sydney Sevens. Let the games begin. February 1st and 2nd, Bankwest Stadium, Parramatta.
Tickets on sale now at Ticketek.
Beautiful afternoon for cricket at this magnificent venue, the Adelaide Oval. It is picturesque, big crowd in, numbers around, the social atmosphere at the back. Afridi's coming in from the scoreboard end, full ball, allowed to pass by Smith. You know what? I wasn't concentrating and I saw that leave and I thought it was Labuschagne. Very similar. I thought, oh no, Steve Smith's out there.
So
now.
What are you going to say, Chuck, that Smith's now batting like Labuschagne? Is that what you're saying? He's learning from Marnus. Is that what you're trying to say?
He's mimicking the senior figure at 3. What a player this man is, Steve Smith. Looking at his record this morning, thinking when's he going to get his opportunity. On the verge of 7,000 test runs at an average of 64, 2600s, 27 half centuries. Magnificent career and still plenty of it to come. Afridi into the wicket, Smith defends into the leg side.
What's he need to go past Bradman?
He needs about 20, I think. He needed something like 23, I think it was, to be the quickest to 7,000 test match runs. He got an average of 64, and obviously Bradman didn't quite get the 7,000 runs. He had been the quickest by miles, but you know, I think Steve Smith's got something like 6 or 7 innings up his sleeve to be the quickest to that total.
That gives you a little bit of perspective about the player we're talking about. Stephen Smith on strike, allowed to pass. Good bounce from Afridi. I wandered down early this morning, caught up with an old friend for a coffee, and then I thought I'll just come down and watch Australia warm up today, which I don't do a lot. And Steve Smith batted in the nets, chaps, I reckon, for 35 minutes. He then walked out onto the ground and had a look around. He then had throwdowns for another 20 minutes. I know everyone has different formulas, but he just works and works and works. No matter at what end of the game, he is top of his game. And I reckon he hit balls for an hour in preparation today. Not everyone's cup of tea, but it's certainly Steve Smith's method as the ball goes through outside off stump.
Well, the worst I've seen was at this ground. Jeffrey Boycott got 173 not out in a day against South Australia for the MCC. I reckon 2, but I'm not sure they actually got past the bat. He might have let him go. He walked off the ground up into the dressing room and said to his fellow England teammates, anyone want a bowl? And they all told him to go jump in the lake. And Swanee Richards, who was Gray Nichols' bat manufacturer, was a medium pace second grader. He bowled to him for 45 minutes in the nets.
Wow. Afridi full, driven to mid-on, chopped down, but they'll get a single. It was well timed, and to be honest, not the worst fielding to cut off what was a certain boundary, and Smith just takes a single to bring Warner back.
And then when he got back to the dressing room eventually, Ray Illingworth, the England captain, told him when he got to 200 tomorrow, the next day, he had to give it away. And Boycott said, no, I'm not going to. And Illingworth said, well, I'll send someone out there to run you out. And he said, all right, I'll retire hurt. He came out first ball, he leg glanced one, and Mike Hendricks, our wicketkeeper, took a blinding catch, and he blamed Ray Illingworth for getting him out. He disturbed his concentration the previous night.
Love the stories of Afridi cutting the square driven into the offside. Babar Azam there chopped it off and well fielded. Shan Masood it might have been. So that completes the over on the McDonald's scoreboard, and normal transmission being resumed. Australia 2 for 378.
The Great Wall Steed Stampede is now on. Round up a petrol dual cab or the diesel single cab with a free tray from only $19,990. That's right, a petrol dual cab or diesel single cab from only $19,990 drive away. And we'll throw in a huge 5-year warranty. But hurry, the Steed Stampede is going fast. So get into your Great Wall dealer now. Great Wall, it's built to work. See greatwallmotors.com.au for T's and C's. Yeah!
2 for 378, the current score here at the Adelaide Oval. Day 2 of this day-night fixture in the Domain Test Series. Mohammad Abbas is going to bowl to Steve Smith with 2 slips and a gully. He's full. Smith forward in defence, no run.
His last few deliveries have been much better for Mohammad Abbas. They are bringing Smith forward again. It's something we talked about quite a bit yesterday, that I think you're right, Chuck, that he hasn't bowled straight enough, hasn't attacked the stumps enough, and been full enough. Now, the last couple of balls of his previous over he bowled to David Warner were much better, and he started well here to Smith. But you've really got to back them up with a whole over there or thereabouts. Ball's moving a little bit. Steve Smith's new to the crease. A little opportunity for Pakistan.
Abbas in again. Full delivery. Well bowled. This is probably the best set of balls we've called over the 2 days so far. Again, I know we're harping on it a lot, but new batsman at the wicket. They've got a new ball. 2 slips gully, point cover mid-off, mid-on, square leg, fine leg. It's just rolling out the same. There's no...
But it's a decent field, though, actually, for the situation they're in, and it's the best field they've bowled to for quite some time. But, I mean, he might have to bowl this well for 10 overs to get a wicket against this standard of batting.
Patience. Has Abbas got that? He's turned off his hip this time. Smith, he'll get at least 1. They're going to come back for 2. It went fine to that man down in front of the scoreboard, and Smith takes another 2.
Well, one thing I suspect watching Steve Smith is that, in a way, in that first test match at the Gabba, he just about threw his wicket away. He, facing Yasir Shah, plenty of runs on the board, he came out and played very un-Steve Smith-like. Tried to get on with it really quickly, lifted Yasir Shah over square leg for 4 to get off the mark, and then tried to do the same thing again and missed it and got bowled. I don't suspect Steve Smith's going to do the same here. He won't want to miss out twice. He'll have a very high price on his wicket today.
Abbas is with us again. Right arm over the wicket. Smith forward in defence and easily negating that ball, knocking it back to the bowler.
If he did virtually throw his wicket away, then that's not something he's got in common with Sir Donald Bradman. I can't imagine, not that I probably did see him play when I was about 3 or 4, because my father Martin played in the same club team as him, but I can't imagine Sir Donald throwing it away for anybody.
Abbas, the right arm medium pacer, tall in height, attacks the stumps a little too straight, and it's a lovely leg glance again. Just a fine ball. They'll get at least 2. They're thinking 3. Warner's coming back for 3. Run out opportunity again. Not a lot of penetration in the throw, and Warner makes it easily. That has been something that stood out in this Australian innings. They're running between the wickets.
In fact, Bradman was very quick to refute. I think there were stories that he might have had a tear in his eye when they gave him the standing ovation out to the ground at the Oval in 48, and he then got bowled for a duck, and the people were saying, he might have had a tear in his eye. He very quickly refuted that, which I think tells you a lot about Sir Donald's approach to the batting.
I think with Steve Smith, I think that innings at the Gabba last week was just such a surprise to walk out in the middle 2 for 300 and something. It was a shock almost to him.
Abbas to Warner, forward in defence, knocks it back to the bowler, completing another unsuccessful Pakistan over. 87 overs they've bowled now. They've only taken 2 wickets, and on the McDonald's scoreboard it's 2 for 383.
We all have a right to live and work in buildings which are safe. So if the cladding on your building needs replacing, insist on Mitsubishi Alpolic NC. It's non-combustible aluminium cladding that's passed all Australian tests. For over 20 years, Mitsubishi Alpolic has been the gold standard for aluminium cladding. It's safe, it's proven, and it's available from Network Architectural. Mitsubishi Alpolic NC non-combustible cladding. Insist on it for your building. Call Network Architectural on 137175.
So back at the Adelaide Oval, hope you're enjoying the coverage. Big afternoon on Macquarie Sports Radio. CEO Kevin Roberts to join us later in the day. Afridi short and defended by Steve Smith. And we just had a little bit of news during that ad break, sad news actually, that Aaron Finch, the Australian one-day T20 captain playing for Victoria, has actually been hit in the head whilst fielding at short leg in the Sheffield Shield match at the MCG, and he's been taken from the field with some delayed concussion. So let's hope everything is okay there. But that's just a little bit of news that came across our screens here, that Finch has been concussed fielding at short leg. Let's hope all okay. Afridi. Now there's a short mid-wicket in. There's something happening here, and he leg glances it. He flicks it beautifully. Steve Smith, it races away to the longest boundary at the Adelaide Oval. 4 runs down in front of our commentary position, and the runs continue to flow with ease.
Excellent shot from Steve Smith, but Afridi shouldn't be discouraged there. He's got a good field. He's got 3 guys on the onside, and I think Steve Smith's clipped that off stump, and just looking at that spinal ease replay. Yeah, that ball is going to be a huge shout, probably out LBW if he misses it. Now, you've got to get Steve Smith out somehow, and I think the best way you can with a new ball is to try and attack the stumps. You may go for a few runs, but I don't mind him bowling there, and unfortunately he's now moved another guy over to the offside as Smith plays to mid-off. I don't necessarily think that's the right thing to do. I would continue to try and get Steve Smith out by attacking the stumps, at least with the new ball. If you're going to bowl wide of off stump, yes, he might nick one, but you're taking out the LBW and the bold dismissal, which really limits your opportunities.
Just for our listeners, what Mark Taylor's saying there, Pakistan had a short catching mid-wicket, a man at square leg and mid-on, and the deep fine. And when Smith played the fine leg glance, they almost off one ball changed their tactics, took the mid-wicket out and put him back to cover, which suggests they're going to bowl off stump, but no, he bowls on the hip and Smith takes a run down to fine leg. So again, not a lot of discipline to stick to a plan. I mean, surely it wasn't just a one-ball plan they were going to try and do that, Mark Taylor, and they've moved the man out, and I agree with what you're saying. Especially early with the new ball, attack that knee roll and see if you can get him LBW.
Yeah, and that 4 down to fine leg, I'll reiterate, that it was off about middle and off, and I think it was a little bit of an inside edge. Smith's trying to hit it through the onside, but it swung back in a bit, clips the inside edge, goes for 4. He misses that, and you're right up, and you've probably got it. You've got to try and get batsmen out, and if they take the odd boundary with a risk, well, that's fair enough. That's the game.
Afridi into Warner, drives into the offside, fielded at point. I think it might be by Shan. Masood, no run scored. Warner 204. Smith's moved quickly to 9.
I watched a lot of the Ashes series from England, and I kept hearing the commentators over there say, "Oh, you got to bowl 5th stump line, 6th stump line to him." I'm thinking, why bowl there? As Mark said, LBW and bowled are immediately out of the equation. You've got to make a batsman play with the knowledge that if he misses the ball, it's going to hit the stumps, because that's harder than when the ball's off the stumps.
2 methods to get him out there. Full ball of Afridi, hit in the offside by Warner. Another well-timed stroke, at least 2. It's racing to the cover boundary. I think it's going to make it again. It was nothing more than a forward punch. Beat the man in the inner ring in the covers, and it raced across this beautiful outfield. Another boundary and another over where the runs have come easily. McDonald's scoreboard reads 2 for 392.
Hello, I'm Jo Moxey, Westpac State General Manager for Regional New South Wales and ACT. Here's an update for Westpac insurance customers affected by the recent bushfires. I'd like to assure you that Westpac Home and Contents Insurance does cover fire damage across all levels of cover. We're here to help, so please call us on 1300 369 989.
Westpac Home and Contents Insurance is issued by Westpac General Insurance Limited. Conditions, limits and exclusions apply, including waiting periods for new policies. Consider the product disclosure statement at westpac.com.au for further details or to see if it's right for you.
Sun is shining, nice crowd in at the Adelaide Oval. Macquarie Sports Radio bringing you day 2 of the day-night pink ball test match here in Adelaide. The Australians won the toss yesterday. They batted beautifully. They were 1 for 302 at stumps. As Darren Lehman moves into the chair, and Chappell out for a rest. Abbas is coming from the River Torrens end. Smith is forward in defence. Good afternoon, Darren. It is a beautiful day in Adelaide.
It's a beautiful day, Chuck, as you said. Mark, listeners, well, 90 runs in a bit over an hour. I thought they'd get 130 to 140 in a session. I'm well short. They've just motored. Well, we were correct about one thing this morning. David Warner's going to come out and be really positive. He's certainly done that.
He was 166 overnight, Darren, and he's moved along to 208. It's Smith on strike now to Abbas. Full ball. That's well bowled. Inside half of the bat, went out to mid-wicket.
Yeah, leg gully in now for Steve Smith. Well, actually, a leg slip, really. I'm just looking at some of his stats here, thanks to Bingle. Smith in his 126th test innings here. He needs 23, I believe, in this innings to get to the 7,000 run mark. So he needs another 14. Now, Sir Walter Hammond holds the record, 131 innings to get to 7,000. And then followed by Virendra Sehwag, 134. Tendulkar, 136.
Abbas in again. Smith walks across his crease and turns it to square leg for an easy single. The length of the ball allowed him to do that. He just got into off stump and knocked it to square. Continue, Mark.
Yeah, the quickest Australian is Matthew Hayden, 142 innings for 7,000 test match runs. And Ricky Ponting, 145. Michael Clark, 149. And Greg Chappell, 151. So that gives you an idea. Steve Smith, if he was to make another 13 now, he would something like 16 innings quicker than Ponting and 5 innings quicker than Walter Hammond, who holds the record.
Well, that is significant. I mean, my maths was never good growing up, Mark, but that's 8 test matches, 10 test matches perhaps quicker when you're thinking we might bat twice in a test, sometimes only once. So it just exemplifies what we've been saying about Steve Smith's record. 23 needs, Mark Taylor says, to go to 7,000 runs today, averaging 64. Exceptional. Abbas now to Warner, around the wicket, full ball, driven, better. No run, but much better.
I suppose the other one that I've left out is obviously Sir Donald Bradman, 6,996 runs, so 4 short in 80 innings with 10 not out, so 46 less than Steve Smith. 46 less.
What about the 10 not outs? What was he doing? Get on with it.
Well, one of the not outs was his 299 here.
299, yeah.
Where
number 11.
Chappelli told me, got run out.
Abbas around the wicket. Warner knocks into the off. They think about it and then they go. They dropped it Warner's feet. Smith responded and they scampered through for a quick single.
This is much better, though, from Pakistan already. At least they're making Australia work harder for their runs here. They're having to take quick singles, and the bowling straighter. There's a little bit more risk in the stroke play and the running between wickets, and that's all you can do on good pitches against good players is bring yourself into the game somehow. So they've got to keep this going now, obviously for the rest of the day, or for as long as they have to bowl anyway.
Last ball, the 89th over. Commentary change. Bruce Eva about to jump back in the chair to guide you through the next half an hour's play here. Smith is on strike. Abbas is with us now. He's in, he's full. Smith just knocks him into the leg side and no runs scored. So at the end of the over on the McDonald's scoreboard, Australia continue to motor 2 for 394.
Harvey Norman, even more amazing deals on home appliances and entertainment. SodaStream Jet Drink Maker, cracker price just $69 each. 20% off Bose headphones and Bluetooth speakers. Dyson Kinetic Big Bull Animal Plus Barrel Vac, super deal $599. Massive Samsung 75-inch 4K UHD Smart TV. Now $1,575, save $400. Savings off normal ticketed prices. Shop now for Christmas and save. Even more amazing deals in store and online now. Ends Monday at Harvey Norman.
Sight gags are always the best, Mark, aren't they? Good afternoon, everyone. As well, it's an obliteration. There's no other way to describe it. Afridi starts a new over, and Warner opens the face, looking to run it backward of point. Didn't get much of it. Dribbles a couple of metres off the pitch, and there's no run.
Well, I'll tell you what, it's a beautiful day here. It's a bit windy out in the centre this morning, but it's a beautiful day. No rain. Crowds piling in out the back. They'll be having a cold refreshment, I'm sure, in the members' stand, but decent crowd. I think they'll go past the crowd yesterday. That'll be my early call.
And it was a good crowd yesterday, just over 30,000 as Afridi in again. Warner once more playing away from his body, pushing out towards point, straight to Masood. No runs.
Well,
go on.
You said there's no grade cricket today.
No, there's no grade cricket.
And really, if you're living in and around the Adelaide area, it's a perfect day to come. It's coolish, but it's nice and clear. You get to see Warner bat, Smith bat, your local man Travis Head bat, and then tonight Australia will be bowling with a brand new ball under lights. So it's a pretty good day to come today.
Yeah, it's perfect. Get down and watch if you're out there listening.
2 slips and a gully. Shaheen, Shah, Afridi, past umpire Illingworth, and Warner finally does get it through the point region and picks up another boundary. Slaps it to the left of Masood. It rockets out to the rope in front of the Sir Donald Bradman Pavilion. He moves to 213. And that rings a bell in these parts. Did KJ Hughes make 213
against India? Is it?
Yeah, that we might get Gary Morgan to check that for Bingle, and that was his 26th boundary. An innings which has lasted 275 deliveries. And Australia on the cusp of 400 at 2 for 398. Afridi tries again a bouncer, and Warner ducks underneath it and then springs to his feet and bounces a couple of times on his toes as if to show to the Pakistanis I'm still really fresh and full of juice. And now a change in the field. There's going to be one of the slips come out, that being Iftikhar Ahmed, who was actually fielding at first slip and coming into a short mid-wicket. And Asad Shafiq stays now. Well, he's only taken half a step to his right, so he's still a second slip, almost floating. Afridi bowls. Warner stays leg side of the delivery and carves it out into the covers, and they take off quickly for a single. 2 for 399.
Well, I'd like to look at the spinal edge replay there, because I almost reckon David Warner stepped aside a bit, like almost backed away or charged. It's almost the intent there. He's on. He's going to have a real crack at this and get as many as they can in that first session, which then opens up the game for Tim Paine to make some sort of decisions at lunchtime. What they do, they keep going hard. I think they really want to be positive. There's a lot of rain about, apparently, Bruce, in the next sort of 24 hours after today. So they might be thinking, well, we need to bowl as much as we can today, which I think would be a really good move.
Afridi in, and Smith just leans on it defensively, nudging out towards cover. And there is no run. We're about 4 minutes away from drinks, but at the end of the over, a couple of attendants rush on for a change of gloves. KO's scoreboard, Australia 2 for 399.
Hey, let's redo a bomb, Dad. Let's redo a bomb. Come on, woo!
It'll be summer before you know it. So beat the heat with leisure pools. Every leisure pool has a lifetime structural warranty for a lifetime of family fun. For your no obligation on-site consultation, visit leisurePools.com.au or call 1300 SPLASH. Leisure Pools, fun tested by families.
2 for 399. Yes, David Warner's just gone past Kim Hughes's 2-1-3 against India here in 1981. Yes, next mark to tick off is Dino's 216 against the Windies in 89. As Warner, they find the outside edge of the bat, but there's more runs. He prodded forward to a good length delivery from Mohammad Abbas. It squirts down to wide third man, and they've run 3. So there you go. David Warner goes past Dean Jones's mark of 216 against the Windies 30 years ago. Warner 217. Dino won't like that. 2 for 402.
He won't like that, Dino, will he? Now, mind you, that was a really good 2-1-6 against the West Indies as well. Yeah. Darren Berry's at the back of the box. He's texting him straight away. And if the Ledge, he'll be listening. He'll get back to him within 10 seconds. I'm tipping.
That was the last test of the 88-89 series.
Didn't Hughes get runs at that
Bird got 72, I reckon.
Yep.
And
How?
I remember he got hit from pillar to post by, it was Walsh, Ambrose, Marshall, Patterson, I think was the bowling attack.
Abbas over the wicket, and he's striking Smith on the pad, but he was outside the line of off. An appeal from behind the wicket, no support from the bowler.
And I remember Channel 9 who were doing the coverage. There was a graphic there at one stage of Big Merv Hughes standing at his crease, and they had all the crosses on his body where he'd been hit. They put it up on the screen or something here. We're all having a bit of a laugh at it. Merv didn't find it that funny though when he came in, having got out. I can't remember if he or Dino got out. And he came in and we were all laughing, but he had bruises all over him, Merv, all over him.
Mohammad Abbas in again. And squares up Smith again. Couple of good deliveries in a row, and Smith getting a little jumbled in his footwork, which we don't often say about the master. And he was struck on the back leg, just below the hip.
It's still too short though, Bruce. You know, they've got to be attacking the stumps to someone like Steve Smith when he's going to cover that off stump. He was worried as a younger player of getting caught behind playing the cover drive. So he negates that by getting so far across and wants you to bowl at the stumps. But I think you've actually got to say, you know what, we are going to bowl at the stumps. Shortest way home.
A floating slip, fine gully and a leg slip. Smith on the move again, batting a long way out of his crease and defending down to mid-on. Just back on that innings of Merv's though, he peppered it with some of the most lustiest swipes out over Cow Corner, particularly to the eastern side of the ground, near the Victor Richardson gates as they were there. It was a very entertaining knock.
Oh, and that's the way Merv batted. I'm not sure he actually knew how to bat. He just occasionally something would happen in his head and he just wanted to play a big shot. He made another 70. Where was that at? Old Trafford? No, I think it was Headingley. And he was told to go out there and just defend. And Graham Gooch was up bowling a bit of part-time medium pace. Merv went out there, first ball, hit him back over his head for 6. And he ended up making some runs there, and he came in and AB gave him a bit of a rollicking about this shot he played. And he said, what about I told you to go out there and be defensive? He said, I was, but I just followed through. And so he hit a 6 to being defensive. That's how Merv played.
What an entertainer. Last ball of the Mohammad Abbas over, and Smith again a long way across his crease and playing it from outside off back down the line, and a bit of a stare from the bowler. Mohammad Abbas at the end of the over. Drinks are going to be called onto the field. A longer first session on day 2, so after 75 minutes of play, Australia has progressed from overnight at 1 for 302 to 2 for 402. The wicket of Marnus Labuschagne fell just after the second new ball was taken. He was bowled bowled by Shaheen, Shah, Afridi for a magnificent 162. But on the KO scoreboard, Australia 2 for 402. Warner's epic innings continues, unbeaten on 217, and Steve Smith on 10. It is the drinks break with thanks to Deep Heat. Deep Heat patches active in just 60 seconds for relief from muscle aches and pain. We'll take a quick break from the Adelaide Oval with Australia in complete control. 2 for 402, and this is Macquarie Sports Radio's Summer of Cricket.
Just listen to that. How good does that sound? The Ram 1500 pickup truck comes with a powerful V8 Hemi and a max brake towing capacity up to 4.5 tonnes. You won't find that in a ute. That's why the Ram 1500 pickup truck eats utes for breakfast. Test drive one today. Visit ramtrucks.com.au.
Need to manage small business cash flow? You need Finstro. Finstro's flexible business line of credit from $10,000 to $300,000 gives your business access to the funds you need when you need them most. With same-day approval, you can apply now and make no repayments until January 2020. For full details and T&Cs, visit finstro.com.au. That's finstro.com.au.
Epic deals at Domain. Epic savings in furniture, bedding and homewares. Hurry, ends Monday. North,
south,
east and
west.
Wherever you are.
Whatever your code.
We've got it covered.
Macquarie Sports Radio.
All sports.
All the time.
99 Bikes 99-hour sale is on now. Up to 30% off selected bikes, up to half price off selected accessories, up to 40% off shoes and more. Black Friday has arrived at 99 Bikes for 99 hours only. 99bikes.com.au.
You love a good mid-game Macca's run, right? Well, this will get you excited. Macca's 30 days, 30 deals has been back this November. All month long they've been throwing out deals like $1 Big Macs and 24 Chicken McNuggets for $8. In fact, Buff picked up both of those deals yesterday. Now, that's a corker. Just grab your phone, download the My Macca's app and check out today's deal. You've got to do it today because it is the last day of November, the last day of spring. Believe me, it's good enough to bowl you over.
Hi, this is Usman Khawaja.
And he clouts it back over the bowler's head, down to the straight boundary.
You're listening to Macquarie Sports Radio.
Yes, Darren Lehman giving the McDonald's on Hindley Street on the way back to our team hotel. A really serious workout over the first couple of days of our stay here in Adelaide. Drinks in the opening session on day 2 here at the Adelaide Oval. Australia in complete control, 2 for 402. David Warner unbeaten on 217. And Steve Smith on 10. Marnus Labuschagne bowled by Shaheen, Shah, Afridi about 25 minutes ago for 162. The wicket fell at 369. Mark Taylor and Darren Lehman 1 for 100. Australia adding in the first 18 overs on day 2 in 75 minutes of play.
Well, it's total domination after my Big Mac last night. That went down very quickly thanks to Macca's.
Is it actually right what you said, though? You said two in one day. I thought he had one lot on the way to the hotel at about 11:30 last night after the game, and then one at all hours walking home. So it was actually in a different day because one was in the AM hours of this today.
I wonder how he got that.
Yeah, and that's how he gets through.
I forgot that you two are so fit,
svelte,
and didn't actually venture with me. You should get the extra nuggets, lads. Get the extra nuggets. But you're right, Australia have been dominant in the first hour and a bit, and I've underclubbed this first session. And David Warner looks to me, obviously he's a man on a mission, but one thing I have noticed this morning, they're all going. They're running hard between wickets. They're trying to score as many as they can in this first session before the twilight period later this afternoon and the evening period. So I actually get the feeling that they want to bowl a long time today, the Australian cricket team, the way they're playing.
So the second new ball is just 9 overs old, and Yasir Shah is now being reintroduced. 19 overs, none for 127. So he's going at about 6.7 per over from the Cathedral end. His first ball he drops short. David Warner rocks back, plays a fierce, vicious pull shot all the way along the turf, out to the rope on the eastern side of the ground, and it's 2 for 406.
I know we've praised Yasir Shah up for continually to front run up and bowl lots of overs and have some poor fields and that. But he's done that a few times today. He's been poor today.
He has. He looks a bit shot, doesn't he? To be totally honest, it said 19 overs, 19.1 overs, none for 131.
He's in again. That's a better delivery. Warner's forward, pushing defensively towards mid-off.
Well, the problem he's only got 3 on the offside. So he's only got a backward point, an extra cover in mid-off. So if he gets anywhere on or outside off stump to David Warner, he's leaning back and cutting in through a huge gap at point for a boundary to the short side of the ground. So he can't bowl where he really should be bowling to David Warner.
Drop short again. Warner this time on the offside. Carves it behind point. A chase for Abbas to about 6 or 7 metres inside the rope, and they take another comfortable 2.
And as a left-hander, if it's not spinning that much, you can actually do what you did then, lean back, give yourself some room and punch it through the offside. So I'll be really interested to see how Nathan Lyon bowls on this type of wicket. I think he'll get good revs. We've got a few left-handers as well.
Yasir in once more, goes through Warner. Was that the wrong one?
Well, that's the line he has to bowl. That ball's pitching just on the spinal replay, on or about off stump, and that one's skidded on, beats the bat. But it's hard to bowl that line consistently because he's only got 3 on the offside. There's no slip. If that finds the edge, it's runs. If he gets it a bit short, he's going to get cut for 4.
Yeah, 6-3 leg side field. Next delivery, Warner cautious in defence, back and across, and pushes back to the bowler. And this is only the 13th day-night test match in history. Warner already up to the 3rd highest score. In fact, the man who holds the highest score in a day-night test match is out in the middle at the moment. The besieged Pakistani captain as Yasir again a leg stump line, and Warner just easily works it off his thigh pad down a deep backward square for a single. So he moves to 224, and at the end of the over on the KO scoreboard, it is 2 for 409.
Pineapple or plain berry? With 37 flavours at Macca's, it's the largest frozen range in Australia. Mix any Fanta flavour or enjoy a classic frozen Coke for just $1. A little goes a long way at Macca's. Available until midnight at participating restaurants for a limited time only. Excludes McDelivery and mobile ordering.
The time for a new Nissan is now. The Nissan Qashqai ST Manual is now only $25,990 drive away and comes with a 7-year warranty. Nissan, innovation that excites. T's and C's apply.
So Warner 224. He is about to face up to Muhammad Abbas, operating from the River Torrens end, and he'll be bowling round the wicket. Highest individual score in a day-night test match, Azhar 302 not out against the West Indies in Dubai back in 2016. Azhar in, and Warner tickles it very fine. There's at least 1, and they will come back for 2. Warner hustles so quickly down and back the 22 yards, and in fact there was no bat on that, says umpire Michael Goff. Raises his right knee and taps it. In fact, the scorers watching, he's still got his right knee in the air. In fact, he had to plant again and then raise it again. I reckon the scorers thought it was off the bat. That's the longest signal for a leg bye in history. He's going
still
third time.
The scorers are having a bit of a snooze. There's no doubt about it. He had to go the 3rd time there, Michael Goff. He showed nice balance, though, didn't he?
He did.
Bit of yoga, wasn't it?
Yeah.
He's a tall man as well.
Yeah.
Now he's back in position, 2 for 411. Abbas round the wicket, and Warner defends away on the offside, just nudging out into the covers.
So, Bruce, is that time of day when you get to the Buff's Twitter poll at Macquarie Sport, thanks to Macca's. And we had the grounds yesterday. It was sort of a bit of a mix-up with the team back in Sydney. So we ended up having over 2,000 votes yesterday, which was great. The best cricket ground in Australia. We ended up with 4. It was SCG, MCG, Adelaide Oval and the Gabba.
What won it?
Slip in a gully. Abbas to Warner, who's driving down to mid-on. Smith committed. Oh, direct hit would have been interesting. Smith took off for the non-strikers end. Throw at the stumps from mid-on from Afridi, who had a mare in the field yesterday. He missed from about 12 metres away. Spineley's replay at Smith regained his ground.
Well, let's have a look at this. He's done well to pick it up, actually, because he didn't pick it up at all yesterday, Shaheen. So, well done, young fella. You've improved.
Well, I tell you what, if he'd hit the stumps, you would have had a former captain very upset there. He's on 10. He nearly got toasted there at the non-strikers end by his partner. That was a bad call, a big yes and then a no. Smith dived back and fortunately the throw didn't hit the stumps.
Beautiful batting conditions. Imagine getting run out on a day like this as Warner's backing across to the next delivery and dead batter just basically drops it at his feet.
So, out of all the votes, MCG was the winner, 41%. Adelaide Oval, 33%. SCG, 18%. And Gabba, 8%. So, something a bit different for the Macca's poll, which I'll get to in the next couple of overs.
A mighty MCG, eh?
You're pretty happy with that, aren't you? I still think the AFL Grand Final should be played anywhere the top team finishes, in Sydney or Perth or Gold Coast.
Mohammad Abbas in again, past umpire Goff. And Warner advancing, I reckon, inside edge onto the thigh pad. It ballooned towards mid-wicket. It was in the air for maybe 8 to 10 metres, but falling short of the field.
Well, what about Moorabbin Oval for the Morris and Kilda boys when they make the grand final again?
Well, it's not a playing venue anymore, but at least they're back home. The Saints at the centre of the universe, Linton Street, Moorabbin, RSCA Park, and wonderful. Well, all the AFL sides have wonderful training facilities now. And this venue here is for the Adelaide Crows and Port Adelaide, it absolutely throbs when either of those two sides are in action. As Warner again tucked up with the ball thudding into the thigh pad from the last delivery of the over and drops away on the onside. A little bit of a conversation between Mohammad Abbas and David Warner. Overcalled. KO scoreboard 2 for 411.
The Great Wall Steed Stampede is now on. Round up a petrol dual cab or the diesel single cab with a free trade from only $19,990. That's right, a petrol dual cab or diesel single cab from only $19,990 drive away. And we'll throw in a huge 5-year warranty. But hurry, the Steed Stampede is going fast. So get into your Great Wall dealer now. Great Wall, it's built to work. See greatwallmotors.com.au for T's and C's. Yeah!
Australia's overall run rate just shy of 4.5 per over, 4.45. In the past 20 overs, they've been travelling at almost 6 per over, 1 for 114. They've added from the last 20 overs. Now, Yasir Shah, just the 1 over from the Cathedral or Northern End, cost him 7 runs, and he's out of the attack. And Mohammad Musa is going to have his first go with the second new ball. On debut, 14 overs, 1 maiden, none for 82. It's been a tough time for the teenager, but he's had plenty of friends out there.
And this is good. I like seeing Musa in the attack, but once again, I can't work out why the 1 over for the leggy.
He might be swapping ends, maybe.
Yeah, but if he's going to swap ends, why did he start out at the Cathedral end of the ground? Like, you don't swap ends in the middle of a session. It seems to me that Azhar is just aptly lost out there at the moment with how he's going to go about bowling these overs.
Mohammad Musa steams in. First ball of his new spell. Smith back and across and defends away on the onside. There's a strong westerly blowing, so you wouldn't think that would help Yasir Shah if he came to this.
Well,
the drift, yeah,
the drift it probably would if he bowls from the city end or the river end of the ground. It probably would, and that's fair enough. But why bowl him 1 over from the other end to start with? It seems to me like he bowled him and then he thought, well, I don't think I've got this right, I'll swing him up around the other end. So, yeah, it's very strange. It suggests to me that the captain's not really switched on out there.
2 out for the hook, a slip and a gully. He drops short, wide of off stump, and Steve Smith doesn't put it away. Plays a cut shot, but straight to Imam-ul-Haq at point.
Well, firstly, I think the seam's a bit kind. He has lost the plot as the captain. And secondly, the new poll, Buffer's poll at Macquarie Sport, thanks to Macca's, is going to be something a bit different, which you guys, I think, will like, and Chapel will like. Since we're in South Australia, Adelaide, I thought I'd do a bit of a wine poll. So
Mohammad Musa hustles in again, Smith forward and defending away on the offside.
So I'm going to give him 3 reasons for our voters, our Twitters, followers. Get on it at Macquarie Sport. You'll vote, and the first region is going to be the Barossa Valley. Of course, I grew up there. Gawler, Lindocks and under. The second region, as we know, a couple of good mates there. We'll go to Clare Valley.
Yep.
And the
Also
third,
very fine region.
the third region, very fine also.
McLaren Vale, Coonawarra.
Mohammad Musa in again, to him, very fine. That's a very fine cover drive by Steve Smith. It's teasing the fielder all the way to the rope, and it's fielded about 50 centimetres inside the field of play by Yasir Shah, and the Australians run 3-2 for 414.
I'll have both, actually. I'll make it four. I'll have McLaren Vale and Coonawarra. There you go. So four regions.
Tough.
Okay. So that's going to be tough for South Australia. Love their wines, produce great wines all over the state. So again, at Macquarie Sport, get your votes in, thanks to Maccas. And let's see what we end up with. So Barossa Valley, Clare Valley, McLaren Vale and Coonawarra.
Well,
Ian Chappell will be. I'd like to see what Ian Chappell. He's very knowledgeable on his Reds.
Well, I'm going to go do some research for you after this Test match. I'm going to check out the Barossa Valley just because of that Twitter poll. That's enticed me to go there.
Warner on 224, bouncer from Mohammad Musa, and Warner collapses the back leg and sways out of the way.
Well, I'm definitely going to Barossa Valley. Obviously, grew up there, so that's an easy one for me.
Yeah. Well, we had David O'Leary in here yesterday from O'Leary Wines, Clare. He was in hitting the box here yesterday.
His wife's a better wine maker than him.
Oh, I said that to him, and he looked at me a bit. He didn't like that, did he? Yeah, Neil Pike from Clare Valley. They make a nice beer there too. Oh, so I've been told. I've been told.
Jeff Merrill, McLaren Vale.
Yeah, McLaren Vale. Barossa, well,
Grant Burge. Got a few out there.
Heritage Wines at the.
Last ball of the over, full and wide, and Warner plasters it through the covers. That's well fielded out in the deep, in fact, but they can't prevent still 2 runs. Shan Masood out there, who's fielding with the shin pads on, because occasionally he's in it at short leg, and he saves a boundary. 2 for 416 at the end of the over on the KO scoreboard.
Even more amazing deals at Harvey Norman. Macy 2 Queen Bed, $199. 20% off Everdew by Heston Blumenthal Force 2-burner barbecue, now $639. Up to 60% off rugs. Up to 25% off Timberline bathroom furniture. 60 months interest free. No deposit, no interest with 60 equal monthly payments until November 2024. Minimum financed amount $1,000. Approved applicants only. Interest applies if you do not comply with terms and conditions. Fees and exclusions apply. Even more amazing deals at Harvey Norman. Offers end Monday.
So a change of ends for Yasir Shah, the leg spinner now to operate from the River Torrens or City end here at the Adelaide Oval. A strong westerly blowing. And first in his sights will be Steve Smith, who's scratching out a fresh guard. Australia 2 for 416. Have added 1 for 114 so far on day 2. A longer first session to make up for some of the lost time yesterday. 2.5 hour session, in fact, as Yasir Shah is in motion. And Smith plays a long way from his body, pushing defensively out to backward point from the first delivery.
Well, that's the move, isn't it? The wind, change your direction, go with the drift a bit more. He did turn a few from this end yesterday.
Start of his 21st over, none for 134. Ball wide of off stump and turning slightly further away from the batsman as the leg spinner to the right-hander does, and Smith doesn't offer a shot. There's a slip, a short leg, and a short straightish cover. Just 2 pitch widths off the playing strip as Smith again plays a long way from his body and guides it to the man at backward point. Good afternoon, Ian Chappell.
Good afternoon, Bruce, Darren, and listeners. Yeah, I think Yasir might have made a bit of a mistake reminding Steve Smith he'd got him out 7 times. Leave great players alone.
7 times he's dismissed him. Smith a long way forward to the next delivery, playing in front of his pad, presenting the full face and pushing back to the bowler.
Yeah, don't upset great players. They only play better if you annoy them. Hope they get bored and get out.
Yasir in once more. Smith again playing in front of his pad. Nudges back down the line and Yasir does his own fielding. Well, it is the battle within the battle. It was the little subplot that emerged from the Gabba test with the signal send-off, if you like. Yasir Shah, after bowling Steve Smith making the sign of 7 as to the next delivery, the last of this over. Smith plays it on the bounce into the body of Shan Masood at short leg. He apologises by doing a fist bump with the Pakistani fielder. Overcalled. Darren Berry about to rejoin you. KO scoreboard, Australia 2 for 416.
The all-new 2170 restaurant and bar is now open in Club Liverpool. Come and try our tasty steaks, seafood and burgers, amazing vegetarian meals, family favourites and delectable desserts. Everything is made fresh, cooked to order and absolutely delicious. At only $12.50, our lunch and dinner specials are great value. Why not book your Chrissy lunch or dinner with us? Located in the Liverpool CBD. For details, visit clubliverpool.com.au. Club Liverpool, the gem on George.
2 for 416 here at Sunbathed Adelaide Oval. Lovely afternoon. Cool breeze, but nice sunshine. Musa Khan in. Warner chips the ball to the gully region.
I think he's hit that, mate. I think he's hit it in the air. It's a gully and it's a no ball.
Oh, my goodness me. I'm looking at Babar Azam with the ball in his hand thinking, why are they not excited? And Ian Chappell's got his arm up telling me, Chuck, it's a no ball. So that just probably adds to the pain of the Pakistan performance. Musa Khan, the young debutant, and he's well over the mark too. We've got the spinal ease replay. Darren, I'm thinking, why aren't they celebrating? There's a reason. He's overstepped.
Well, same as the first test, wasn't it? And you see on the spinal ease replay how upset he is. Distraught, but simple fact of life, keep your foot behind the line. That's what's got to happen.
So the young boy in Brisbane, Naseem Shah, got a wicket on a no ball, and now Musa Khan, the debutant here in Adelaide, and both involving David Warner. Extraordinary stuff. He's in again. Same result, this time along the ground to gully, and no run scored. So Warner gets a life. Ian Chappell on 226.
And in both cases, it would have been their first test wicket.
Yeah.
So I guess there's a lesson there to be learned. Whether it is another matter.
Well, they have a history of bowling a lot of no balls, don't they, the Pakistan cricket team? But that, 2 debutants, 2 weeks, same player, David Warner. That's a few times he's happened to be
5
out.
now.
5 now, is it?
Well,
Musa Khan in again. We'll come back to that on his hip. Warner makes them pay, eases a single into the leg side, and well, David Warner pats the young man on the back, but pretty easy to pat him on the back when you're on 227 not out.
I know it's 4 times and he's gone on to make 100. So I'm not sure if there have been other times, but 4 times he's converted it into 100.
Well, this one was on...
This one he might convert into 300.
That's exactly right. 226, just make a note of that. Caught off a no ball in the gully off Musa Khan's bowling. He's into the wicket. Smith turns him to square leg and 2 men out, so they'll get an easy single again.
What about you, gents, for the Macquarie poll at Macquarie Sport? Thanks to Macca's, the 4 wine regions. Which one would you be choosing, Ian? You know, you wine pretty well in South Australia.
I mean, are you restricted to 4, are you?
Well, I am for the Twitter poll, yeah, sorry about that.
No, well, I mean, Langhorns Creek is a pretty decent region as well, yeah. I very much like Pikes out of the Clare Valley, but, I mean, you can't go wrong with a Barossa. Any of those 4.
You can only have one, mate.
You can only have one.
Come back to the wine poll in a moment as Musa Khan bowls. It's cut ferociously into the offside. It races towards the point boundary, chopped off. Well fielded, in fact, just in front of the players. I was going to say the interchange players. That's the football season, but where the players are sitting in the dugout, and it was well fielded, and it restricted it to 2 runs. Back to the wine poll, Ian Chappell.
I'd be loyal to Pikey then and go for the Clare Valley.
Okay, no problems. Chuck, what about you?
Shiraz. I'm big. I love Shiraz. So yeah, Clare Valley Shiraz is excellent.
Okay.
I did sample, I must admit, in the 4 years that I lived here, Buff, and loved my time over here coaching South Australia, and I did go to most of them in that period. We took the Adelaide Strikers actually 1 year on a Barossa tour as we got together and got all the boys together, and that was a good day out. Musa Khan bouncer, and it's guided over the top of slips with just a little bit of class from David Warner. An easy boundary, short ball, and he just lifted it over the head of the slips, and it raced away for 4.
Well, that's a great shot. Obviously decided banging in with the 2 back on the leg side, a deep point. David Warner's almost decided to play a bit more of a one-day role, hasn't he? With these boundaries going all over the place. And at the start of the day we said 140, they'd be 440 by lunch. There's 50 minutes, they've scored 123 thanks to Bingle.
They're motoring along. Back to our wine conversation. I'm not really a connoisseur as such as what Ian Chappell might be. I mean, I like my Shiraz as well. And I was lucky enough, we had a wine dinner one night with the Henschkes up here, and my daughter's Grace, Ian. I've got a 14-year-old daughter by the name of Grace, and you probably know where this story's going to go. David Warner faces Musa Khan. He works him into the leg side and will take an easy single. I might have to come back at the end of the over and tell you the Hill of Grace story, because on the KO scoreboard, Australia are 2 out for 426.
If you're suffering from bad teeth or loose dentures, the All-on-4 dental implant system may be the answer. Completed within 24 hours at the All-on-4 clinic and done while you sleep by renowned experts like Dr. Fadi Yasmin.
People who come to see me are often confused and frustrated. We can help. I hold All-on-4 consultations in Liverpool, so why not make an appointment to see me? Visit allon4.com.au. That's allon4 with the number 4.com.au.
Welcome back to the Adelaide Oval. Warner and Smith, as they've done so many times in Australian colours, starting to form a nice partnership here. Warner is 234 unbeaten. He was caught off a no ball in the previous over off Musa Khan, and now the leg spinner is going to continue. A slip in place, a deep point patrolling the boundary, and then 2 in the offside ring. Pitched on leg stump, and Warner easily nudges it down to long on for another single. Just to complete that wine story, the Sacker put on a wine dinner, and I can't remember his name, which is poor of me, very poor of me, given what he did for me. And I was talking to him about my daughter's name being Grace, and the next day at the Sacker arrived a lovely bottle of Hill of Grace. The year that my daughter was born, I've put that away to give to her for her 21st birthday, so a bit partial there. And I liked one, the Barossa Buff too, Murray Street Vineyards, a lovely little boutique winery there. Lovely shot from Smith as we're talking red wine. Smith just caresses one through the leg side and it races away. Runs galore. Yasir Shah's horrible record in Australia is only getting worse as we speak. So Murray Street Vineyards, I liked a couple of their wines as well. So I'm going to vote Barossa with you, Buff.
Good boy, good boy. That's a beautiful shot.
You'd be the only commentator who could afford a Hill of Grace, Chuck.
Incorrect, Ian. That is not true, and I was lucky enough, and I'll thank the Henschke family again, because when that bottle arrived, I thought there's no way I could afford it, because I know they're up around the $1,000 mark, and I would never pay that for a bottle of wine. Yasir Shah for defence, and it was a complimentary gift.
And what you should do, I know you're going to give it to your daughter for your 21st, you should open it, drink it, and replace it with something else, because she's not going to appreciate it.
Tricks of the trade. I tell you what, Steve Smith's showing all the tricks of the trade at the moment. Briff, he's moved quickly to 18. He goes back this time. He cuts, but there's a man out on the cover boundary. Just a single.
I can't remember 2 guys in Labuschagne and Smith being able to whip the ball through mid-wicket against the spin for 2 Australian players for a long period of time. Ricky Ponting did it occasionally, but
Mark Waugh.
But outside of that, 2 blokes on the same side that really have no fear about going against the spin. I know it's probably not a big turning track at the moment, but they've done it consistently in the first 2 test matches as well. Marnus Labuschagne certainly has.
Shah, full delivery, inside half of the bat, goes to mid-wicket, misfield, but they didn't come through on this occasion. And Ian, you're a good player of spin yourself, I suppose, and as a coach you always say, be careful hitting across the spin, but what all those players that Darren mentioned, you said Mark Waugh, beautiful footwork to get into the position to be able to hit it where you want. Yasir Shah is in again. Not much time in between balls. An appeal for leg before the wicket. A demanding appeal from the bowler. Not a lot of support from the men behind. And surely that has to be a leg by, isn't it?
He's waiting to see if they review,
And we're waiting. I don't think they're going to review. And the umpire I don't think, Ian, he's going to give this leg by. So
once the 15 seconds up, he can.
We're still waiting.
No, so he's hit it.
He's adjudicated that, and we'll have a look on the spinal leads replay. So a single there to Warner, completing another over on the KO scoreboard, 2 for 433.
Oh, the Blind Factory! Did you know that the Blind Factory were the first to offer a lifetime guarantee? That means by the time I pass away, my roller blinds will still be fully operational. The Blind Factory! Fat lot of good that'll do me. Call 13 Blinds.
G'day, Charles Alder from Rural Aid here. Support Rural Aid and Tomra's Bottles for the Bush recycling campaign this Christmas. Every eligible container donated raises 10 cents for rural families. Visit bottlesforthebush.org.au for more details.
Warner and Smith at the wicket, continuing to pile on the runs, and the pain for Pakistan continues. In the previous over, this young man on debut, Musa Khan, got some speed. He struggled with his length. He actually got his first test wicket but was denied because he'd overstepped the mark. That's a good delivery, another no ball.